Hi everyone, welcome to 5 Minutes with a Guru, and today I'm really happy to have Janine Mladin with me, who's a very good client of Hillross Macarthur, and I want to go through Janine's story, which is quite inspirational on what Janine does with her life. Janine's had a very fast-paced life and very interesting. In recent times, she got married, went to the US and lived a different sort of style of life in the US, come back to Australia, marriage ended, she's bringing up the 2 young daughters. She received a big settlement, and that's where Hillross Macarthur come in to assist with the finances at that stage. Then Janine had some health issues around that time as well, and she's had several brain tumours removed, which is a story on its own. And then Janine had this burst of life, an attitude that she wants to live every day strongly, happily, with a great focus to inspire her children, but along the way inspiring everyone else, and does a lot of charity work as well. So we're going to talk a bit about that later with Janine. But in the first instance, Janine, welcome. And when you had this settlement and you had this large sum of money, and suddenly there was pressure to, I guess, to invest this to look after yourself and to look after the girls going forward, and at the same time you had some health issues at the same time. Mm-hmm. What was going through your mind at that stage?
After having an amazing previous 18-20 years, it was amazing how things can change. It's to have had the brain tumour, just all of a sudden arrive on my fit and healthy body. I felt very fortunate to have the money there to be able to go and see the amazing Charlie Teo, and he has been the surgeon who's looked after me for the past 5 years. I've had to have 4 operations to remove brain tumour recurring 4 times, which has just been, for a fit and healthy person, it's been very hard to take. But then again, by the same token, it's also made me change my perspective on life. And that's why I've become involved in Charlie Teo Foundation, but also involved in other areas that I really find make me appreciate every day that I have in my own life, that's for sure. Whatever's left, I'm fighting for, that's for sure.
Yeah, and with the financial situation that you now structure things to give you a monthly income like a salary, I guess that gives you a sense of relief that that's one less thing you have to worry about. You can just get on and look after your health, look after your fitness, and look after the girls.
Yeah, it certainly does. And coming in your direction to have you help me out by planning, giving me monthly payments, I guess you'd say, and from the investments has been another way that has helped me too to just sort of somewhat relax. And the fact that having had the brain tumour, so I don't have a job, I simply do volunteer work, but being able to still have income from my investment to live off of, that is a way of keeping me settled, or what would be a word for that?
Comfort.
Comfort, in a comfortable position, that's right, in life.
No, good. And we try and do regular progress meetings, so for most clients that would be at least once a year. What do you get out of those progress meetings? Do you find them valuable or not valuable?
I certainly find them very valuable because it's yet again something that I don't have to worry about. It's just something that whenever I check my bank account, I just see a deposit in there with I put a tick, and that's okay. Other than that, it's just totally out of my hands, but it's in your hands to make sure that it stays there, and if it doesn't grow, then at least it sits there as a good basis that I can live off of for the rest of my life. So coming to see you every 6 months or at least once a year has been really good, because then it kind of gives me an idea on the types of things that are being invested and the way the money goes in and comes out.
Yeah, great.
It's been very good.
Yeah, good. And tell me a bit more about your charity work. So Charlie Teo has recently set up a new charity that I know you're very much a big supporter of.
Yes.
And just in the last weekend, you've gone on a big bike ride for the police. So tell us
Yep.
a bit about those two things.
Yeah, so as for Charlie's Foundation, way back in 2012 was my first brain tumour removal operation with Charlie, and I kind of got myself into learning how to run my very first City to Surf. So ever since 2013 City to Surf, and that's when I ran for Charlie's Foundation. And so whenever I can do any sort of running event, I'm a girl who loves running and bicycle riding, that I would be able to raise money for his foundation. And then just recently he's opened the Charlie Teo Foundation, who I will still be running and riding for, that, and in the upcoming years. Just last weekend was the bicycle ride that you were talking about, was for the police legacy, and that is also another amazing event. We ride 300 kilometres from Sydney to Canberra, and same deal, but it's raising money for those in the I've lost the word and it's for those who are riding in the police legacy, who are suffering with different problems and different issues that they have had to overcome themselves within their business.
Oh, good on you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic that, and very inspirational for everyone to watch you and to learn from you, because as many knockbacks you get in life, it makes the person, when you can stand up and shrug that off and just get on with life, and set a great example for everyone, for your daughters in particular.
Right, and that's what I'm hoping, is that, after being 18 years with my ex, the father of my two beautiful girls, to have been sort of by myself for the last 5 years, and I really see that every event that I go into and I do, whether it's a short running or a long running or riding, at least, or I'm hoping to, that it inspires my daughters to actually stand up for themselves and to be able to actually be fit and healthy and get out and do whatever they still can do. So that every family, every friend and family and person in my life, I always remind them as well, each and every one of us, we have to get out there and do what we can still do, because you don't know if you're going to be diagnosed with something tomorrow, just like it was a major surprise for me.
I love your attitude, live every day.
I certainly do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for that story. Thanks for being such an inspiration to us, and thanks for being a valued client at Hill Ross Macarthur.
I appreciate every word you just said. Thank you so much,
Great.
Peter.